just got to say that, we met in 2017 at an instructor training with the Florida Realtors. And, it's just when we left there, it was shortly after we finished that class. And it was around the time of my birthday. And I got a voicemail from you that I still have on my phone today. It just blew me away, right? And I think that that's a big part of who you are and the kind of customer service that you provide to people and the connection that you make. Because from that point on, I just felt connected with you. And every time we'd see, it was always a matter of, giving the great big hugs and just really having a nice conversation and just talking about life in general. So I really do appreciate you and appreciate you taking your time to come on here today to help me help others here in 2024. So thank you for that, Neal.
Let me jump in here and just comment really quickly. First of all, I appreciate your appreciation, but I know we're going to talk about a few different topics today. But something you just mentioned, this whole idea of connection, right? And how because of what I would consider a small intentional act of connection, it's really strengthened our relationship. And as we talk about all of our topics today, it really goes back to this idea of connecting. I believe that as the world becomes more connected or the connection opportunities are greater, the true connections are becoming more and more rare, right? We see a lot, we hear a lot, we're inundated with these connection opportunities, but it's fleeting, right? We don't go deep. We don't say happy birthday to people. We don't get on their voice recordings and sing to them, even in bad pitches, right? We don't ask people how their last event was or what they're excited about. But when we do, those are the connections that we find are going to reap a fantastic reward. And then ultimately we start to see that people who are like us, we get connected with them. And then we look around to the left and right, and there's this upward spiral of energy. There's this upward spiral of connection. And then as we were talking before we actually went live, we start finding out that the world, whether it's industry, personal, that the world is smaller and more connected than we thought. We start realizing that great people seem to connect and be related, industry-wise, professionally, or even personally, to each other. And you say, Neal, do you know this person? I'm like, absolutely, from years back. And we had some names come up. And every name that came up, here's the effect that it had on both you and I. Those names put smiles on our faces, right? So as we thought about those people, we started saying, oh, yes, I know him. Oh, man, they're great. Or she is going to be phenomenal. And then we start to see that these are individuals who are intentional about making connections.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's, I think that's what people forget, right? And it's like John Maxwell has the book, everyone communicates, but few connect. And I mean, it's just the title itself is so true. And I think that's why when I chose to become an instructor and worked on getting approved for certain classes, a lot of what I teach is on communication. And because I think we have a communication problem in the industry as a whole, but I think just in life as a whole, people have forgotten how to communicate. And I think it got worse through COVID. So moving forward, I think people need to put forth a little bit more effort to make that connection. And some people, and I'm guilty of it too, like through Facebook, sometimes instead of writing out happy birthday, we're clicking on whatever the auto suggestion is. It's like, oh, yeah, that one looks good. I'll just click on that. So it's one click, boom, there's a happy birthday. And that's kind of nice, but it's not the same thing as writing out a message or delivering that voicemail or sending a text message that is, unique and personal to them, because that is really how you make the true connection. So
on that, Paul, like technology has put us in the position to win by giving us all the information, is telling us what to know about people, what they care about. We are just opting for the easier, faster method, right? Sometimes I know on some of the apps, you can just respond by pressing the number 1 and it's going to say happy birthday. Or if you do 2, it's going to be HBD, like happy birthday, those type things. But what if we separated ourselves from the mediocre mass of the many and we did just one small step, just something that's just slightly different, the impact that we have is going to be tremendously greater. So you and I can see the same birthdays for friends or same life event. Maybe it's an anniversary. You might do the auto-suggested response, as are the majority. I will open up my Messenger app and send a birthday or anniversary congratulations message. And here's what I know. I know that my video, that my response is going to evoke a different feeling and emotion. And thus, I am going to get a different level of feeling and response from the individual that I send it to. And the beautiful, but also the challenging thing is the same tools and resources that are available to me are the same thing that's going to be available to you and to all of our viewers and listeners. The difference is, are we going to slow down that half second and just do one thing differently? So I'm always challenging people to think big, but also think differently. And if we can think big and think differently, and it's not a vast shift in thought, it's just, am I going to do what's memorable as opposed to what's easy or fast? And if we do those consistently with a greater number of people, we're really going to look around at our businesses, at our lives, at our relationships, and at our health. And then we start to see this small, different, big decision that I made really has created a lifestyle or business that's going to be profitable and beneficial.